Hello, welcome back to the Juniper Veil. Today I am going to do a reading on Graham Platner. So, not too long ago, a few hours ago, another allegation came out against Graham Platner by a woman, and it was very detailed. And I'm going to do some cards on this to see Maine's future, see what happens, because it's a little disturbing. So, to prepare for this, I watched the Hawk podcast and I read the political article. Um, so, I'm going to put both those links in the description so you can see them as well. You know where I'm coming from. So, Graham Platner, who is he? Graham Platner is running for U.S. Senate in Maine. He's Democrat, and he is running against Susan Collins, who is a Republican. He already had another woman come previously out to accuse him of assault. I'm trying to be careful with the type of words that I'm using. Her name was Lindsay Fifield. And now another woman, Jenny Rasico, has also told her story as well. This was something that happened, I guess, nearly 5 years ago. But she told people about it during that time and years afterwards. So it's not like she just all of a sudden came up with it. She also is a Democrat. I know that Lindsay Fifield had connections to the Republican Party, so people were wondering, does that mean that, is this real? Is it a Republican? What's the word I'm looking for? Are they trying to accuse him of something that he didn't do? This woman is a Democrat. She is not part of the other party. I believe most women wouldn't make these stories up. So we're going to see. We're going to see what the future holds for Maine. So first thing I want to ask, what happened that night between Platner and Rasico? Tell me what happened that night between Platner and Rasico. We have the Star. We have the Page of Wands. We have the Worlds. We have the King of Pentacles. And we have the Six of Wands. So the Star can be about hope. You can see the woman is, it kind of looks like she's collecting stardust in that jug. Page of Wands is naivety. Wands are masculine, enthusiasm, drive. The World card is a completion card. It's usually you're achieving something that you want. King of Pentacles is a male leadership, has a lot to do with money, finance, strong leadership, telling, what to do. Six of Wands is a little bit more calm. Trying to remember what the Six of Wands looks like in the regular tarot, Rider-Waite tarot. This one, you see somebody's lighting up a bunch of wands and people are watching. So what is this telling me? I don't feel like this is telling me much of anything in all honesty. Page of Wands, potential adventure ideas. I mean, that could be him. This could be her at home. This could be him. You know, she's like the star in her safe place at home, which is which is what's in the story. Hope, renewal, faith, inspiration, renewal, spiritual clarity, peace, healing. The Page of Wands, it could be him coming to her home drunk. Potential adventure ideas. He had a specific idea about what he wanted to do. Completion, fulfillment, success. He did what he wanted to do, which is in the article as well. The King of Pentacles, we're looking at leadership, prosperity, wealth, mastery of resources, success, material stability, leadership. I mean, leadership can be about being in politics. I don't think he was in politics at the time. And then the Six of Wands. Victory, success, public recognition. Achievement, success through effort. I don't know. This isn't really telling me much about that night, I would say. It's not really doing anything for me here. So I'm going to ask something else. But if you all have ideas about what this says, please let me know. But nothing's really sticking out to me there. So let's try something else. Let's try something else. Let's see. How about this? Say Graham Platner, he doesn't drop out of the Senate race. He stays. Will he win or will Susan Collins win? That's what I'm going to ask. I'm going to do like, I guess 3 cards for each of them, see what comes out. So Graham Platner will be on my left. Susan Collins will be on my right. I have the 5 of Pentacles, the Queen of Cups, the Hierophant. For Susan Collins, I have Judgment, the 9 of Wands, Hanged Man. So the 5 of Pentacles is usually about charity. If you're kind of like a run down a bit, you're a little worse for wear. 5s can be very hard cards. I mean, they could be, there's something going on, right? It could be something good. It could be something bad. The 5 of Pentacles, though, is usually somebody who's like looking for charity or needs charity, right? They're kind of hurt. They need safety. The Queen of Cups is that female leadership, women qualities. Women are wise. They are determined. They're not going to be intimidated. The Cups in this regard with the Queen. Let's see. That's about compassion, nurturing, kindness. So there's empathy, intuition, emotional depth. Courage is compassion. Compassion, using you or someone in your life as a vehicle, support others, and trust your heart. And the Hierophant is the institution. So the Hierophant says to me, government. And it could say that he gets into government, that he wins the election. Susan Collins has the Judgment card, which is kind of like finding higher purpose, higher frequency. The 9 of Wands, you are achieving, well, I mean, 9s are good for a completion, right? They're not the 10. So it's not a full completion yet, but it's, you're on that verge of completion, persistence, close to the finish line. So may be having a feeling of exhaustion, but she's very close. Then we get the hanged man. So the hanged man is somebody who is kind of stuck. They're not moving, but they're dealing with the I guess with the judgment that they have to deal with. Hangman comes after justice. So there's a pause, a surrender, a new perspective. So it's kind of like you just have to release control. So that would say to me that she does not win re-election. She's having to release control to Graham Platner. So this says if he does not leave, he will win. All right. So how about this? If he does suspend his campaign and a different Democrat runs, which I think can still happen, but it would have to happen very soon. Who wins? Who wins? So if Graham Platner leaves the campaign and another Democrat fills in, takes over the campaign for the Democratic candidate for Senate and Maine, who will win? Susan Collins or the Democratic candidate? So I'll have the Democratic candidate on my left and the and Susan Collins on my right. We have the Hierophant again. We have the Queen of Wands, and we have the Tower. For Susan Collins, we have the Ten of Cups, we have the Star, and we have the Queen of Pentacles. Honestly, this says to me, with the Tower card, that's not great. That's an ending. The campaign will crumble. The Hierophant here, I think it's showing that there will be the Democratic Party will be behind that Democratic candidate. Again, we get a lot of Queen energy again. So we have this Queen of Wands. She's like a Queen of Fire. So there's a lot of enthusiasm, but I get the Tower card in the end. The Ten of Cups is like happy families. That's a beautiful completion card. Then we get the Hope card, and then we get the Queen of Pentacles. The Queen of Pentacles talks about kind of like sharing the wealth. I would say in this sense with the Tower and the Queen and the Star, I would say Susan Collins wins if Graham Platner bows out. So that's very tough because if he is guilty of what he's done, you don't want somebody like that in charge because it's just another taterhead. No matter what politics he has, if he's not guilty, then it's good. But, I can't tell you whether he's guilty or not. I don't know. So my first impression would be like, at this point, maybe it's better he bows out. But because if he is guilty and he wins, it's just, that's not a good message to send either, right? But then if he bows out this late, will the Republicans win? I don't know. There could be a lot more to the story. I'm not saying whether I would not say whether the women are telling the truth or lying. I don't feel like that's my place to judge. I hope they are not, because this type of assault is a very serious thing, and we need to believe people so that more people come forward to when these things happen to them, because A lot of people don't come forward because they don't think they're going to be believed. So this is very tough. This is very bad. So I guess I want to ask. It's hard for me to ask, like, is he guilty? Is he not guilty? You saw with the first spread I did, it was just very ambiguous. It was kind of all over the place. Um, and I feel like the same thing would happen if I asked about guilt or not guilt, right? So let's see. I'm going to ask a more general question that has to do with the United States. At this point in time, with the energies how they are, is the United States going to? Oh, sorry. Are the Democrats going to win the Senate? Let's see what we get. King of Swords, the World card, the Sun card, the King of Pentacles, and the Page of Cups. These are very strong cards. The King of Swords is somebody who is shrewd, ready for battle. He's got lightning looking like it's hitting his crown, right? The World card is that success, that completion of a goal. The Sun is a very big yes card. It's shining light on things, uncovering truth. King of Pentacles is another king energy. This one has to do with finance, money, health. And then the Page of Cups. The Page of Cups is interesting because he has a little fishy friend. So the Page of Cups is about creativity. He's hopeful. He's playful. I mean, these are all very good cards, I would say. If I want to look a little bit deeper into the King cards. Leadership, intellect, power. That's very good. Logic, disciplined thinking. King of Swords. Fairness, structure, mental health. So I would say those are things associated with a Democratic Congress in my opinion. The King of Pentacles is leadership, prosperity, wealth, right? Mastery of resources, success, material stability, prosperity. Leads the charge in projects. So I would say the Democrats are leading the charge. They're getting what they want. They're uncovering truths. And then it's interesting when I get the pages when I do a political, because I feel like that is the new guard coming in. This could be like Democratic socialists also coming in. So I think the Dems are going to still take the Senate. I mean, that's always a very hard one to take the Senate. It looks to me like they are. It looks to me that if Platner leaves, though, Susan Collins will win. So perhaps Platner that's very tough, right? Because if he's guilty, that's not the kind of candidate you want to get behind and you want to put in government. If he's not guilty, then it's fine. But when you have more accusers coming forward with very detailed stories, I don't know. It's very difficult. I don't know. It's very difficult. So that's my reading on that. Please watch Hawk's podcast for more details and read the political article, and then watch any podcasts or read any other articles that you think are relevant and that you feel come from news sources that can be trusted. Let me know what you think. All right. Have a good day. Bye.